All right, today we're going to dive into Susan Hill's incredibly powerful one-act play, On the Face of It. It's really a story about two people who, on the surface, seem kind of broken, but together they end up finding a path to becoming whole.
You know, this one line right here, from a 14-year-old boy named Derry, it's basically the key that unlocks the entire story. It's not just about a physical scar, you see. It's about the invisible walls that fear builds. Not just his own fear, but the fear he sees in everyone else's eyes.
So our story kicks off in this quiet, old, kind of overgrown garden, where two worlds that couldn't be more different are about to collide. So picture this. Derry climbs over a wall, thinking he's found a perfect, empty hideout. And bam, he's caught. He's immediately on edge, defensive, ready to bolt. But Mr. Lamb, he's just surprisingly calm and welcoming. He's honestly more worried about Derry tripping on the crab apples than the fact that he's trespassing.
And this is where you really see the stark difference between them. On one hand, you have Derry, young, angry, and just completely defined by his burned face. And then you have Mr. Lamb, an old man with a tin leg from the war who just refuses to be defined by his disability at all. They're both physically marked, right? But their outlooks on life are just worlds apart.
Now, to really get the incredible change that happens in Derry, we first need to step into his shoes and see the world through his, well, pretty wounded eyes.
For Derry, the acid didn't just burn his skin. In his mind, it completely consumed his entire being. He is absolutely convinced that people can't see past it, that they only see a terrible thing. And honestly, that belief has become his own personal prison.
And that's the thing. If play isn't really about a physical scar, it's about the deep, deep emotional wounds that prejudice causes. You know, the whispers, the stares, the looks of pity. All of that stuff has hurt Derry way more than the acid ever did. So what does he do? He builds these huge fortress walls around himself. He's trapped, but not by his physical condition. He's trapped by the mental and emotional barriers he's put up to protect himself. For him, being alone has become the only way to avoid a world he's sure will reject him.
But right here, in this garden, Mr. Lamb offers a completely different way of looking at things. A radical alternative to Derry's dark worldview.
I mean, this moment says it all. Derry looks at a patch of the garden and just dismisses it as worthless weeds. But Mr. Lamb? He sees a weed garden and starts questioning the labels themselves. Why is one plant a weed and another a flower? To him, it's all just life, growing. He's gently pushing Derry to look past the easy labels.
Mr. Lamb's whole philosophy is actually pretty simple, but it's so profound. He literally has no curtains on his windows because he refuses to shut things out or shut things in. He finds something fascinating in everything, from weeds to spiders. And his core message is just choose to engage with the world, not to hide from it. Choose curiosity over fear.
And this line, well, it's not just about the actual physical gate to his garden, is it? It's a metaphor for his entire life. His heart is open, his mind is open, and he invites the whole world in, no matter what it looks like.
Okay, so all of this conversation, this new perspective, it all builds to the story's big turning point. Mr. Lamb has planted this tiny seed of hope in Derry, and now we get to see if it's actually going to grow.
And this moment is just filled with tension. For the first time in forever, Derry feels a real pull towards connection. He wants to come back. But Mr. Lamb, he's heard it all before. He's thinking to himself, they never do come back. So the question just hangs in the air. Is Derry going to be different?
So Derry goes home, and he runs right into his biggest obstacle, his mother. She basically represents that fearful, overprotective world that has kept him smothered for so long. She's heard some gossip about Mr. Lamb, and she forbids him from going back, trying to pull him right back into that isolated shell.
And there it is. That's Derry's revolution. For the very first time, he clearly separates who he is from what he looks like. He actually stands up to his mother, declaring that his life is about his thoughts and feelings and his curiosity, not about his scar.
This is the moment of truth. Derry gets it. He understands that going back to that garden isn't just about helping an old man pick some apples. It's a symbolic act. It's his choice to finally step out of his prison and embrace the world, just like Mr. Lamb taught him. It's a choice to really, truly live.
So Derry defies his mother. He runs back to the garden, filled with this incredible new sense of purpose. But the story takes a tragic and really poignant turn.
He runs in, completely out of breath but triumphant, so ready to prove that he kept his promise, only to find Mr. Lamb motionless on the ground. It's just a devastating moment.
But here's the thing, and this is so important. Derry's return is not a failure. It is a profound victory, because he came back.
And these words, spoken through tears, they're not just for Mr. Lamb. They're for himself. He's confirming out loud that he broke the cycle. He kept his word and he chose connection. And in that one moment, surrounded by loss, the transformation that Mr. Lamb started is finally and permanently complete.
So what's the big takeaway here? Well, Mr. Lamb may be gone, but his legacy isn't. He didn't just teach Derry a lesson, he passed on an entire way of living. In one afternoon, he gave a boy who was trapped in darkness the tools to find the light, and in doing so, he made sure his own spirit of hope would live on. And that's really why this story matters so much. It's a powerful lesson in empathy and resilience and in the sheer courage it takes to build connections. It shows us that the lens we choose to see the world through, and maybe more importantly, each other, can fundamentally change everything.
The play ends on this bittersweet note, and it really leaves us wondering about those brief, unexpected encounters in our own lives. Who is our Mr. Lamb, and what open gates are we maybe too afraid to walk through? It challenges us to think that maybe, just maybe, a single conversation with the right person at the right time has the power to change a life forever.